My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is May 25th, 2026. It is 4:49 a.m. This is just a continuation from where I left off. I will say video 2, I guess. Alright, let's continue. We were supposed to start with Dr. Shola. Is that the... I don't know if that's the link. First tweet. Alright, so there's no caption. This is Dr. Shola talking. I'm not sure. Okay, Ingrid Seward, Meghan failed to embrace the British people. What? They push her out. She tried her best. She gave all her best. And then they reject her. What did they expect her to do? Why are they trying to change the narrative? How old is this? Okay, this was posted on the 24th, yesterday. But let's listen to Dr. Shola. I don't know how recent is this video, even though it says it posted yesterday, May 24th. Let's listen. 2 minutes and 18 seconds screenshot.
It was not Meghan that failed to embrace the British people.
Thank you.
It was some British people, particularly in the establishment, that failed to embrace her. And also using the example of not letting people see her son. Are you kidding me? If somebody used a racial slur against my son, you sure as heck they're not going to see my son. Why in God's name should she do that? It was okay for them to be used as pillars of abuse simply because they're... I think that is totally unacceptable.
So what did the royal family and these people expect from Meghan? For them to continuously insulting her, and then for her to shut her mouth and take it like a punching bag? And then for them to have a laugh non-stop? Remember the Queen's funeral? How they went after her? She went to support her husband during the Queen's funeral. The media forget everything. They didn't even mention. If they did, I didn't come across. Well, I did, with the exception of one guy who was talking about the history. I have the video about the Queen and comparing how Meghan's work ethic is as good as the Queen itself.
Yeah, I think there's another factor here too, that Meghan is a very professional woman, and she's very American in that way. And the male-dominated culture, the royal household, doesn't like the kind of terms that they would use there, pushy and pushy American. They don't like pushy Americans, meaning that they don't like professional people who work hard. And a lot of the Debbie kind of girls who get to work inside the palace work from about 9 to 12 and then take the rest of the day off. And Meghan was very impatient with that. She wanted to see a new work ethic, maybe a work ethic as strong as the Queen's herself.
Meghan's work ethic is as good as the Queen. But mainstream media, they took all of their time bashing Meghan. Are these people for real? And then they expect Meghan to come and continue showing her face when the people who's supposed to protect her then protect her? Oh my Lord. Let's continue. I'm gonna move it back slightly.
Them to be used as pillars of abuse simply because they're... I think that is totally unacceptable. And I don't think Harry had a failing. Both Harry and Meghan made a choice. Respect it. And those in the British society that embrace them can see the opportunity that Harry and Meghan represent for the royal family in what they're currently doing. So rather than seeing as letting the Queen down, and the Queen has not actually said anyone let her down, of course, those who think they know the Queen best will opine on that. What they've actually done is broadened the exposure and the access to the royal family by people seeing members of the royal family as real people who have real issues and they're addressing them. So I totally disagree with this, with the opinion that Meghan failed in any way and that she didn't get people to eat out of her hands. I'm sorry, it's no woman's job to get people to eat out of her hands. Meghan's job was to be Meghan. Our job was to accept her as she is, and she did not do anything wrong. Absolutely nothing wrong. And as I said, using Archie as an example, that just makes no sense to me.
Ingrid, did they humanise the royal family? Do you agree with Shola on that point?
Well, evil will always look into the evil side of things. These people refuse to see reality. They even went after Archie, a baby. Remember the fire when Harry and Meghan went to South Africa? These people are evil. Okay, perfect example. They all connected.
This woman existed, all the alarm bells rang at Buckingham Palace, and I could almost hear them saying, pull the shutters down. It's an invasion.
She's mixed race, she's American. She's mixed race, she's American.
They all connected.
The major problem of Israel is with the young generation of the Black community.
This was an Israeli government official who was saying this, not some low-level operative or some rogue member of their diplomatic corps. This was a senior member of their administration.
It's an invasion.
She's mixed race, she's American, she's a divorcee, actress. Those are 4 ticks. No member of the royal family, the senior members, ever thought they would see having to be ticked.
Government of Israel come to the United States saying that their biggest threat is African American, young generation of African American, while we all minding our own business. These people are freaking evil. Oh my Lord, they all connected.
I don't disagree with Shola, but I think she's trying to just make an argument out of it. I'm actually quite agreeing with her for once, in a way. I feel that, Meghan, we did embrace Meghan. The thing is, we did embrace Meghan and we loved her, but I just feel, and I was trying to explain that if they'd done it differently, look, she's an actress. She could have said...
That's the same thing she said when... That's her talking point. Remember before the Oprah interview where those YouTubers pay them to say their BS? That's the same thing she's saying here.
We're going to be doing a post-match analysis of Harry and Meghan's interview with Oprah, which is obviously coming out in a few days.
Ingrid Seward, I'm editor-in-chief of Majesty magazine.
You've not seen the interview yet, have you? No, great. I think we have a fair idea of where the interview's going, and we have a fair idea.
We do, definitely.
Okay, great. Are you ready to go? Brilliant. Okay, let's go.
What was your overall impression of the interview?
In the interview, to my mind, this was an actress giving one of her great performances. If they'd done it differently, look, she's an actress.
Let's finish this part.
Look, it's so easy to make people like you. You have to bring them into your world, and she was shutting people out of our world.
What the hell?
She was taking all the love.
What the hell is wrong with that? Alright, I'm gonna let it play completely without me interrupting.
It was not Meghan that failed to embrace the British people. It was some British people, particularly in the establishment, that failed to embrace her. And also using the example of not letting people see her son. Are you kidding me? If somebody used a racial slur against my son, you sure as heck they're not going to see my son. Why in God's name should she do that? In what world is it okay for them to be used as pillars of abuse simply because they're members? I think that is totally unacceptable. And I don't think Harry had a failing. Both Harry and Meghan made a choice. Respect it. And those in the British society that embrace them can see the opportunity that Harry and Meghan represent for the royal family in what they're currently doing. So rather than seeing as letting the Queen down, and the Queen has not actually said anyone let her down, but of course, those who think they know the Queen best will opine on that. What they've actually done is broadened the exposure and the access to the royal family by people seeing members of the royal family as real people who have real issues and they're addressing them. So I totally disagree with this, with the opinion that Meghan failed in any way and that she didn't get people to eat out of her hands. I'm sorry, it's no woman's job to get people to eat out of her hands. Meghan's job was to be Meghan. Our job was to accept her as she is, and she did not do anything wrong. Absolutely nothing wrong. And as I said, using Archie as an example, that just makes no sense to me.
Ingrid, did they humanise the royal family? Do you agree with Shola on that point?
I don't disagree with Shola, but I think she's trying to just make an argument out of it. I'm actually quite agreeing with her for once, in a way. I feel that, Meghan, we did embrace Meghan. The thing is, we did embrace Meghan and we loved her, but I just feel, and I was trying to explain that if they'd done it differently, look, she's an actress. She could have said, look, it's so easy to make people like you. You have to bring them into your world. And she was shutting people out of our world. She was taking all the love.
Phew, I was holding on not to say anything. The other thing as well we need to keep in mind, it was William who kicked Harry out. Meghan came over there, went to the UK. She was doing good. Every single interviews that she did, she let people know exactly who she was. Why didn't the royal family tell her, speak to her and let her know what she's doing? They don't want. Well, then again, they did tell her to be 50% less of herself. How do you become 50% less of yourself when this is who you are? But instead, they went on bashing her and all of that. Okay, so I'll read all of the comments. It's amazing that they can see that Meghan was reacting to their insults and the innovation of her newborn son. Did they really expect her and Harry to expose their baby to their vileness because they think that they own him? Ingrid looking like a cartoon character all her life, Droopy the Basset Hound. Don't know Meghan, will never know Meghan. Ingrid hard-nosed royalist, so don't care for anything she has to say. We all know William and Kate resented, hated the attention Harry and Meghan received. William and Kate got the media to tell people Meghan was a terrible person because of their jealousy. Meghan didn't do anything wrong. William and Kate are petty, jealous, racist. They wanted Meghan to be less than her real self. Thank you. I don't think these hate royalists can see any difference. It's like they are bewitched by royal family. It's just not common sense for them. Ingrid is still angry at Harry for not marrying her friend's daughter, whom he dated. She simply hates Meghan because of it. I'm gonna respond to this. Alright, so this is what I wrote. First, Ingrid is repeating exact same thing she said to the YouTubers before the O interview. Second, it was William who kicked Harry and Meghan out. I point this out. All Meghan did was good things for Brits. The royal family didn't like it. I don't know when this interview happened, but it seems like British media and royal rats are going back to square one with their narratives. Alright, so that's that. Did I read everything? Ingrid still angry at her. Okay, I did read everything. Alright, so let's go to the next tweet. Alright, this is about Prince Andrew and Aussie. Something like in the first video, there's something I said, a tweet that mentioned about Martin. Okay, Martin said there's something that probably gonna coming out soon. He doesn't know what it is, but it seems like there's something that's about to be made public. So maybe this is why these people are coming out with their stupid narratives. All right. This is the next tweet. If you want to see the full power that the royal family has over British media, see how they made Andrew's new sexual assault allegation into a non-story. No media house is touching it or discussing it, but they will discuss Gem from dusk till dawn with round-the-clock articles. Well done, Australia, for trying to report the news. Watch. Depend on how the US, alright, because the US is in big trouble right now with the Trump administration. Depend on how we get out of this, okay? And if white American see things the way it actually is, and African American already see how it is already, but if the country come together and said this corruption that's going on needs to stop, and then they do something about it, or should I say we do something about it, the ripple effect, the domino effect will happen. And it will transfer to the UK. Because the parallel, it's so... I've been saying it for a very long time. Before, how will I say? It was happening in both countries, but slightly under the radar. But what just happened in the US come straight right in your face. Trump wasn't hiding it anymore. Okay? And I think some people in the UK are seeing it, the corruption as well. But once the US tackle the corruption of the Trump administration and they do something about it, then we will see the domino effect. It will happen in the UK as well. All right, so let's listen to this.
Is remaining silent as British police widen their investigation into former Prince Andrew. Accused of sexual offences, the King's brother faces charges that carry a life prison sentence if found guilty.
He's not going anywhere.
3 months on from his arrest, tonight, former Prince Andrew's royal nightmare is gaining momentum, investigated for misconduct in public office.
Actually, under this offence, someone can be charged with a sexual offence.
Chris Chip, of all people? Okay.
And that is the change, and that's why this has become even more serious.
The King's brother is accused of sexual offences and trafficking linked to the Epstein files. Allegations Prince William wasn't asked about and didn't acknowledge on Radio Today.
Prince William is our special guest this morning.
Local police widening their investigation, asking alleged victims to come forward. Virginia Giuffre took her own life. Her brother applauded.
She didn't take her own life, okay? They went after her. That freaking thing with that school bus and everything, from what I've heard, she was alive. And then after recovering from that, and then for her to take her own life, please.
British authorities.
The fact that we have law enforcement, a police agency that's willing to listen and actively try to seek survivors to come forward is quite a stark difference from other departments of justice here in the United States.
The royal family has done its best to distance itself from the King's brother. The former prince lost his royal title.
Oh my God, why they keep on saying former prince? He will never, the prince will never be removed from his name. His mother was the freaking queen. Why do they keep on saying that?
Last year, but as this saga deepens, the family faces an uphill PR battle. The former prince denies any wrongdoing. Police must convince the courts they have enough evidence to take him to trial.
And if you're expecting a decision sometime this year, don't hold your breath, because I think it will go on for many, many months.
In London, Isabel Mullen, 7 News.
Okay, I'll be surprised if anything come out of this. And with the US, probably all evidence are gone. It will have to be someone ethical within those departments in the US to have a copy of those things. And then save it until someone who's really willing to do the right thing, and then they bring it forward. All right. But as far as I'm concerned, in my humble opinion, with the Trump administration, those files are gone. All right. Next. Let me read some of the comments. Andrew is not a former prince. Thank you. All right. That's what I'm saying. What do they want people to think? His mother was the freaking queen. Andrew is not a former prince unless and until they find a way to reverse the birth process. Andrew and anyone else who was born a prince will remain a prince regardless of the rhetoric. That is true. Yes, well done, Australia. You have no idea how the British media works. There is no protective arrangement regarding the royal family. Scandal, particularly in the royal family, or corruption in high places, is meat and drink to the media. If they're ignoring this latest allegation, it's because it hasn't got legs. Oh, please, you must be delusional. It's beyond disturbing. What a disgrace. The UK media has single-handedly made the UK people the most misinformed and uninformed people in any thriving civilization. Okay, I will say right now the US is probably on the same boat, but I do not watch mainstream media, so I don't know if they're talking about it. Okay, so that's that. Next tweet. Oh my God, this is in here. I'm gonna remove this. If I have another video, I'll put this in here. I have like 3 tweets regarding Harry and Meghan, so I probably will create a video separate for them, for PYTE. I don't want to put it with this crazy things that's being discussed here on this video. Next tweet. There is quite literally a visible bump in death statistic for pregnant women right as the second trimester begins, because so many are murdered right as the pregnancy becomes outwardly visible. The other day I saw, I could have been on Twitter. It has to be Twitter because I'm not on other places, where it reminded me. Well, first of all, there were 3 women that were black women in the U.S. that were murdered. I'm not sure if they were pregnant or anything like that. And when I saw it, I thought of the UK because there were some black women being murdered in the UK as well, which I had reported in one of my videos. But the one for the US, I didn't report it because where was I? Yeah, I didn't report it. So I don't know what's going on here. The fact that women being murdered by men can even rank among causes of death should alarm people. Instead, we ask to sympathize with the male loneliness epidemic while women are literally dying from male violence. That's very sad.
The major problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community.
This was an Israeli government official who was saying this, not some low-level operative or some rogue member of their diplomatic corps. This was a senior member of their administration.
Alright, probably also the woman is experiencing more symptoms, so is less able to serve the man hand and foot and might need help with things or be considerate. Sex then also isn't as regular as before. That will start arguments. Why is it the woman's fault? I don't know. Homicide is the #2 cause of death for pregnant women. Chillings. Alright, I don't know. People need to be careful who they be with. They need to be careful. Alright, so I saw this. The only reason I put this is because I'm seeing those huge mansion looking like properties in a small lot. These type of properties belong where you have a huge acre of land where you go move around. But this is what's happening with architecture nowadays. Certain things don't, it's like the way they place those properties is like it's out of place for some reason. I don't know if you understand what I mean. There was a time I did a video where I was talking about row houses in the US, let's say in Harlem, some part of what do you call this, Brooklyn. How, you know, the consistency of the properties, those row houses, brownstones, you see that there was conscious. Let's say one architect designed this particular property, and then a new one that is being built right next to it will find at least the facade of things, all right, to find a consistent, to keep it consistent. But now with things that's being built is ridiculous. Let me read this and then I'll look for you know what, let me pause and look for it. Alright, so I type in Google row houses in Harlem. Alright, you could see the consistency. This one, for instance, you see the facade, even though they're slightly different, but you could see the consistent. It doesn't, your eyes look at ease. You see the consistent kind of movement, the pattern. It's somewhat consistent, but slightly different. But nowadays, you will see where row houses or brownstone, and then next thing you know, you see a huge tall building come out of nowhere. All right, this one is another one. You see the facade of things look consistent. All right, there's slight little difference here and there. All right, with the entryway and things like that. All right, so I type here row houses with inconsistent new building. I just type it. Something like this. All right, you see these two buildings at the corner, it looks they were there before this one. This is the inconsistent that I'm talking about. Out of nowhere, they didn't even try to match the bricks. All right, there's no continuity of the new one. You could have still made the facade look somewhat similar to this. The inside could be completely different, brand new. But there's no consideration of the old with the new. Are there anyone where it looks inconsistent? That's this one. Let me see that one here. Alright, something like this. You see all the other ones. You see the continuity, consistent. And then that one, they come out of nowhere. It doesn't match at all. A different look. When you look at, okay, this one for instance, okay, this is different because this is like a new construction, a new area being built, a new residential area being built. You see the consistent of all of them, so that's fine. But if you were to put one of these buildings somewhere here, it doesn't look right. It will look out of place. You see that one, the facade, they all look subtle. It is to the eye. I don't know what they're teaching right now in the architecture field right now. You could see the consistent again. It eases the mind. Not the mind, the eyes. This again, consistent throughout. It is the eyes. Okay, this is perfect. Well, I can't see too much if the rest of the neighborhood, but it's the ease, the consistent. It, it invites you to be there. So this is a model. Okay, this is fine because this is a brand new residential area. This is fine because all of them look almost the same. All right, you see the continuity of it. If I were to take one of these and put it, let's say, here, it will not match. It will look out of place. All right, this is what I'm talking about. Let's see this one. This one, it looks like a backyard. It's okay, but you could see the continuity of the brick. All right, so it's okay. These two are okay. I don't know which one is newer than the other, but this one is okay. It's when they come out of nowhere, you see like a futuristic type of building or glass house completely, and then you see bricks all around the neighbors. Alright, so there's this one. This one is okay. This one is okay because this is a backyard. It's the backyard, but you could still see the continuity of things. This one is okay. I'll let it go. There's this one. Okay, I can't see too much. Yeah, this one is fine as well. Even though this one has a huge glass, it's okay. This one, I'll take it. But there's some that's completely out of place. All right, let's go back to X. All right, so that's what got me into this. But for these, even though it looks like a brand new neighborhood they're creating, but those properties look too massive for the lot. That's what I see here. My parents called these grey-poupon houses. So she retweeted that. I see these neighborhoods being built in Texas, and I'm trying to figure out who in their right mind will buy a mansion with 0 lot lines. Well, the lot line is somewhere. It has to be somewhere. Imaginary lot line. It has to be there. On paper it is. Well, it's still being built. It's still, there's more that needs to be built. I don't know. These people are hungry for money, and they disrespect the how would I call it? Not the process, what make architecture what it is. Then Trump said something. There were some professions that he was disregard. Nurse was one of them. I think architecture was one of them. Let me go look on X. On Google. Alright, so I see this here. List of degrees not classed as professional by Trump administration. Nursing. I just can't imagine that a nurse will be working without going to school and learn what he or she learned. Physician assistant. I mean, you have to know the tools that the doctor will need. That's a profession. Oh my God. Physical therapist. My goodness. Are you freaking kidding me? You have to know not only biology, what do you call this, part of the body and all of that to be able to help the person. Audiologists, architects. Can you imagine? This is why you see these people are doing that. This is not they not consider them as a professional. This is what you get out of this. You have anybody go and build anywhere without consideration of the history of architecture. You have a huge building in comparison with the lot. My goodness. What else did they put? Accountant. educators, social workers. Oh my God, social workers are one of the most undervalued profession. Okay, because not only you have to take consideration of the people you are helping. I'm thinking right now you could help me all sort of people, but I'm thinking mostly of kids because they are minors, they don't have a say for themselves, and the people who are supposed to supervise them, their parents or caretaker, whatnot, sometimes are not in the right mind to take care of them, and then those kids are left broken. So social workers have to know, psychologists, they have to understand the pain and suffering of those kids. This is one of the most undervalued professions that I think people are not taking into consideration. Okay, for the architects, I think the architecture field, the people who gives licensing and things like, they don't give, you have to take the test to be qualified, but whoever monitors those the field of architect, I think they spoke out in disregard to what Trump was saying. Keep in mind, Trump is into the real estate. He wants to do whatever he wants, because I remember in New York there were buildings that were classified as what do you call these, as landmark. He ended up destroying the things that were supposed to be preserved. And to do that same continuity that I was talking about, he destroyed that. These things need to remain for people to learn from. There was something I was gonna look up. Social workers, what do they? Oh, the architects. Several things. Oh my God, I'm carrying on with this. First, let's look for social workers, what they need to study. Okay, so this is what I would. What do social workers need to know in their field? Social workers require a deep understanding of human behavior. Okay, I truly believe this is one of the most undervalued field that we have, because not only society are increasing or creating traumas. Look at what the Trump administration is doing, for instance, creating traumas, unnecessary traumas, and then there's people who do not know how to cope with them, with those traumas, the unnecessary burden that they're throwing at them. And then you have to have social workers who have to understand all of those. And let's not forget, they themselves probably going through some stuff as well, but they have to put aside their own personal feeling with their own everyday issues that they're dealing with at home, their husband, their kids, their bills, and all of that. And then they have to take on an individual and try to understand where they are coming from. So this is why I said social workers are the most undervalued profession that I think we have. Okay, so they have to understand human behavior, psychology, and socio-economic system. All right, to assess client needs and advocate for resources. This is one of the most undervalued. And then they don't earn that much. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, how much do social workers earn? Oops. Okay. How much social worker earn nationally? Let's do that. Social workers in the U.S. earn a nationally median salary 61,000 plus. Actual pay range widely dependent on specialization, experience, and licensure level, with the highest 10% of earners making upward 99,000 plus. Now, if 99,000 is good, but it has to do with the level of your degree, they say here. But I still think it should be much higher. Alright, so that's that. Now, the next thing I wanted to look, I said something about architects. Did the architecture professions went against Trump? Let me pause and type that. Oh, I didn't even know. I thought I paused. Okay, this is what I typed. Did the architecture board work against the Trump administration about architects are not professionals? Yes, major architecture boards and professional organizations strongly opposed the Trump administration directive. When the U.S. Department of Education announced sweeping student loan changes that strip architecture along with nursing and accounting of its professional degree status, organization immediately pushed back. The main action taken by Architecture Board against the policy includes opposition, warning that removing this designation will drastically lower federal student loan caps for architecture students. I think the reason he said that, he's trying to go after the money for things. This guy just came to take money and put it in his own pocket. But anyway, the AIA issued a firm statement of opposition, warning that removing this designation will drastically lower federal student loans caps for architecture students. They argued this will limit access to education, shrink the talent pool. I truly believe that, the talent pool, and dismiss the years of rigorous training and examination required to earn a license. I truly agree with that, because due to safety reasons. Because you don't want, okay, let's look at, for instance, what happened in the UK with that building that burned down. Okay, you have to know about materials and what prevent fire. And even though you could hire an engineer to do the structural drawings for you, but still you need to know when there are more eyes looking into to back you up. Okay, remember, safety is the main thing. Okay, people do make mistakes. So when there are more professionals who know what they are doing, when each one of them is checking each other, it makes the project much safer. It's not about who knows more or who knows less or anything like that. The more professionals that there are on a project that check each other out, it makes the project much safer. But to remove that professional thing in architecture, it's not making people's life any better. It's making it less safer. Okay, you could look these things up, but there's so much going on, and that alone tells you that as well. You're gonna have people who's gonna be building things, and not only disturb people's eyes, the finesse that used to be in architecture is not gonna be there anymore. People's gonna build whatever they want and then put people's lives at risk. Remember, building's supposed to last longer than civilization, than people. You don't know who's gonna buy the next property. Yes, you could build this right now for your need. Okay, the next person that's gonna live in that house, or the next family that's gonna live in the house, may not need all of that. They could, still stay in it, but the safety of it, the materials, if there's a fire, look at back then, they used to use asbestos and things like that, and now those asbestos could kill you. So all of these people need to know. All right, let's leave that alone. I spent too much time on this. But nursing and many other things, did I even read the thing? Yeah, I did read it. Let's go to the next tweet. It's about MAGA. Oh my God, I spent too much. It's already almost 40 minutes. All right, let's see here. The reason why MAGA seems to still be unhappy, even though they have won and got everything they voted for, and it is simply because they might have won, but at what cost? It's 1 minute and 30 seconds. I respond to this. Okay, there's my comment. All right, let's see.
I saw someone ask, why is it that racism is starting to be ramped up? Why is it that white people are more unhappy now that they've gotten everything they've wanted?
You know that saying, I've won, but at what cost? That is what MAGA Republicans are dealing with right now. They are right. They did win. And because they won, they now have to pay higher gas bills, higher electric bills, higher grocery bills. Many of them lost their health insurance. Many of them lost their jobs. Many of them are suffering from the effects of companies not using DEI anymore. And even though they've won, to them, it doesn't feel like a win because they are suffering, and they're suffering more than ever. So what do? They just go back to their roots. roots, because to them, even though they're suffering, at least they're not black, right? And that's why it's like that, because us folk were telling them, we told you so, and they couldn't handle that. Because us folk, we took a step back and said, this is not our battle. Unfortunately, we still have to deal with the remnants of their decision, but this is not a battle for us to fight. And they see that, and then they have to turn around and see data that comes out that says that there's a decline in white people being accepted in a college, and particularly white men. And then they turn back to look at us and say, well, why aren't you guys mad enough? Why aren't you guys out there protesting like you were a couple of years ago? Why aren't you guys fighting for us even though we've been mean to y'all? And when we remind them like, hey, we told y'all this, now we're sitting down on the couch and this is y'all battle to fight. Now they're racist and now we get Chud the Builders. But that's the reason. They have won, but at what cost? But y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.
This is my response here. They will never be happy until they are gone. We know the saying, rest in peace. They need to be rested, and that's when they'll know peace. All right, so that's that. Let's go to the next one. I wanted to say more, but on social media. This is my last one for this. I saw it. I didn't listen to it yet. Maybe the first 10 seconds of it. This gentleman gets it. Bullseye. 1 minute and 22 seconds. Screenshot.
I have never cared about politics in my whole life. What Trump is doing in the United States of America and the citizens is absolutely unacceptable. It won't affect me. I don't even give a shit. I'll be fine. But for the average American that has struggles every day, somebody in their family's sick, they're sick, they lost.
For those who might say why he said he might be fine, okay, he's white and he's a male and he got money. So all the checkbacks is favored to him. Okay, so that's why he said he'll be fine.
Lost a job, they lost health care. Trump absolutely is pissing on the heads and in the face of every American. He has stolen more money and will steal more money by the time he gets out of office, more than every president in the last 250 years combined. Congress should fucking be held accountable, and Trump should be fucking thrown in jail. This is an absolute fucking sham. What he is doing to the United States and to the economy will never recover from it. The consequences will be felt for the next 50 years. He is digging us a hole so deep with his fucking corruption and his cronies' corruption and his lies and his bullshit. I cannot believe that we're fucking having to deal with this guy. I have never cared about what a president did.
This is the problem. He never cared about politics because it will not affect him personally, when in fact, it should be everybody's problem. You should pay attention how a president gonna help the country as a whole, not just a few. This is the problem. Some of the problem is with him too. I wonder who he voted for, because if he said whatever Trump is gonna do, whatever the country is going through is not gonna affect them, I wonder who he voted for. So he is part of the problem as well. He never cared about politics. So every election cycle, you have to pay attention to who to vote for. They all add up. This didn't come out of nowhere. Okay, it's a accumulation of rules and laws that they keep on putting, and you think it will be beneficial for you now, but in the long run it adds up. It affects the country as a whole. So he is part of the problem, and some of the things that he just said.
But this level of corruption is so over the top. I don't know how in the hell Congress is allowing this shit to happen. The guy's fucking making stock trades, and 3 days later he's fucking spitting out the ticker symbol and speeches. It's fucking abhorrent. He's disgusting. He's despicable. The guy is a lying, cheating pig.
Well, all this has to do with the Epstein file, and he's taking full advantage of it. Alright, so that is it. I don't know. What kind of prayer should I say here? Pray for good health. Let's say pray for society. There's some tweets that I removed from this that has to do with Harry and Meghan. I might put them on a video by themselves. Let's pick this one. Let's leave that alone. Let's do this one. Lord, we ask for spiritual growth within our community. Draw us closer to you and deepen our faith. May our community be a place where your love and truth are shared and celebrated. Amen. And I was looking at this. Since it's short, I'll add it to this. A prayer for community. Thank you that Jesus knows exactly what isolation and loneliness feel like, and that he loves to meet us and comfort us in those places. Alright, so it's not as strong as the first one, but I'm gonna stop. This is it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. Alright, so that's it. Thanks for watching.
Lavanaka. It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together. And if I may speak personally, we are all in this together. Because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.